Hey y'all, I'm gonna do a quick early July update because I just got back in town after being out of town a little over a week, and boy has the garden exploded. These are the squash down here. I've already picked 3 or 4 off of here, and then my in-laws who were watching the garden for me while I was gone grabbed 2 or 3, so they'll be putting on some more. There's some fresh blooms in there, and this is the spaghetti squash down here, and it's growing and trailing out. I've got a spaghetti squash hanging over here. Zucchini bed's still not doing very well. I don't know. I'm gonna have to explore more into what's going on in this bed as opposed to that bed, but it's just quietly disappointing. Now I am getting some blooms on some of the zucchini now, but it's just not producing. I just don't know what's going on. Over here in these last little beds over here, I've got green beans I need to get in here and start harvesting. We'll probably start that in the next day or 2. Unicorn cherry tomatoes are almost to the top of the trellis and loaded with little cherry tomatoes over here. Got a bunch of ripe ones down here I need to get a hold of towards the bottom on both sides. Chinese noodle beans are trellising way up and starting to put on some blooms. So I should have some Chinese noodle beans here in the next week or so starting to grow. Look at this cluster of big Zac in here. I mean, there's like 4 big tomatoes, and these are, I mean, in my hand, that fills my hand, and all 4 of them are about that size. And there's more up in here, tucked away in there. I need to get in here and trim these off. These are mountain merits. That one's gonna get picked today. White tomatoes, more big Zac down there. And again, just loaded in there. No new blooms right now, it's been a little hot. But while I was gone, it rained just non-stop, it seems. This Genovese basil back here is trying to go to seed over here because nobody was here to, my in-laws watched the garden, but they didn't maintain anything, and that's fine. Oh look, I got a little nasturtium peeking up over here. But more tomatoes. I think that's a big Zac. I can't remember. Black Beauty, still a beauty. Hoping those get ripe soon. And then these 2 tomatoes on the end still just aren't doing very well. It's got a big tomato, 1 big tomato on that one, and a few little ones over here on this one. But the opposite side of that tomatillo, they're just not doing. And over here on these peppers, there's peppers all underneath there. My in-laws picked some of them. As you can see, they're down in there. Tomatoes growing through, that's another big sack. I've got to get in here and tie these up because they're leaning over on all the bell peppers over here. But this is just really 1 week. This is what I came back to, a jungle. It's amazing how much it's grown. Look at that big Zac in there. That's a big tomato. Patty pan squash down here is producing, and look at this one down here. It's like a fused patty pan. Those 2 I'll pick today. That one can grow another day or 2, but lots of more little ones in there. Ground cherries are making ground cherries. I'm picking up 20 or 30 a day, not to mention what falls underneath the plants in there. Tomatillo is looking pitiful over here, but some of them need to be picked because they're starting to come out of their little skins over here on these. Lots of new ones coming after that storm knocked over that other branch. My band-aids are working, it seems. Sugar baby watermelon's not doing much. And this dill has seen better days. That dill too. Those are Rutgers tomatoes over there on the other side of this trellis. With some sweet 100s down there. Let's get over here and see the middle where these have fallen over. Most likely from the storms or a critter. The sweet 100s starting to get ripe. These over here are mochi, and they've got some in there. Now they've not grown up as tall. They're indeterminate as well. They're loaded with some tomatoes, just not all ripe. That's what's down here on the ground is mochi. I may just kind of cut those off or let those ripe. I'm not sure what to do. This is a mess. It's what happens when you go on vacation during garden season. There's more nasturtium. I've got eggplants growing under here, and more nasturtium, eggplants on these over here, dill, and of course Mexican sunflower mixed in there. This Mexican sunflower over here finally started putting on some blooms. And these are the gypsy peppers. There's one pepper on each one and some blooms. Hey Wilson, I see you looked after the garden while I was gone. Here's more unicorn over here that needs to be harvested. And then Cherokee purples. These are all Cherokee purples. That one's starting to blush finally. But some of these are, like this is that monster one. That's one tomato that's fused together in here. That's a beast. That's on that one I band-aided too. A couple of other big ones in here, pretty gnarly looking ones. The rest of them look okay. But look at these over here. These are what I'm harvesting today, all the Wisconsin 55s. Just loaded with red in here. And I've already picked a couple. I had to have my annual tomato sandwich, actually 2 or 3 of them. But these will all get harvested tonight, except the green ones I'll leave on there. And then these will be coming out once these last ones on here are ripen, to start ripening and start blushing. And then I can get something else in this bed. And here's the sun gold over here. This one's quickly becoming my favorite cherry tomato over here. I've been a Sweet 100 fan for years, but now these are getting to be my favorite. And put it in my little pouch here. I've got an apron that I'm going to be collecting tomatoes in. This flower bed, let me get out of the sunlight. This flower bed over here is looking good. The lettuce bed over here, I've pulled out all the lettuce. It bolted while I was gone. Got chamomile everywhere I need to start harvesting. Greens in here growing big, and teddy bear sunflower still hasn't put on a bloom, but she's getting ready to. Look at the lavender over here. Shooting up. Well, I don't know how well my onions are going to do. These melons on the other side, I kept trying to train them up, but they're crowding out my onions over here, so I don't know how well that'll work. Getting some Kajari. There's Charentas and some Kajari melon in here. And I forget the name of this last one. It was an Indian melon. But it's putting on some blooms. There's some little melons in there, if you can see that. Cucumbers going everywhere. I picked 9 pounds of cucumbers off of here the day I got home, and they're in my fridge. I gotta make some pickles. And there's also, look in here, I'm gonna get these tonight too. Some overly big, these are the dragon egg cucumbers. And I need to get all those cleared off of there. These onions, same thing, getting crowded out by the cucumbers. All right, and then I'm starting to get some little cucamelons. I don't know if you can see that because I can't see the screen right now. But little bitty cucamelons. So that's where we're at for a quick garden update. I mean, all these radishes over here are bolted, so I'm going to pull them out. Well, just so I can clear out this whole bed and probably put some broccoli and things like that for the winter fall garden in here. Anyway, y'all have a good day. We're going to get to picking some tomatoes. I want y'all to look at this. I've got my little pouch back here plumb full of tomatoes. And I still got more to go. I'm picking up off most of the ones that are ripe, or leaving some of the ones that are still kind of blushing on there. But this is handy. This little patch, or this little pouch thing.